everyone. This is RAND. Welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for Thursday, July 24, 2025, after 3:15 p.m. Eastern. We're having a reverse aging health call tomorrow night, Friday, 25th, after 9:15 p.m. Eastern. You want to make sure you're in a comfortable position, no outside distractions. Relaxed into your body, still as a statue, focused on your breath, rising and falling. When you let go of who you think you are, what you truly are begins to shine. In that presence, life no longer needs to be chased. It arrives, inspired by the divine flow. The miracle is that as you awaken, so too does the whole universe, para belly up. We do know that this world has a natural order and perfection within it. This divinely orchestrated universe is easy to see, feel, and experience when you simply focus your attention in this direction. And as we know, what you put your energy on grows stronger. And the more you take time to look for the beauty and the perfection around you, the more you'll see, feel, and experience this awesome divine energy that is within all beings and things on the planet. It's only your mind that stops you from perceiving the divine in every experience, being, and thing. This is where we get, complaining about things, right? Or perceiving things as bad or wrong because these things are not in alignment with the ego mind. Plans, expectations. And the mind would like to do everything to go according to its agenda and can think it is the supreme ruler of this universe. Truly, it has no idea how your whole life is going to look once it is finished. While it may grumble and get upset about certain experiences, you can always step back from the mind and see the gift in every perceived negative event. Wherever there is an open mind, there's the possibility of seeing the positive within everything. By looking at any event with humility and a long, deep, quiet curiosity, the perception pendulum inside the mind will swing from negative to positive with enough childlike innocence and courageous introspection. You'll start to understand and comprehend that everything happens for a bigger purpose. This reason is not always evident at first. Yet each event is always created by an all-loving, intelligent universe that is helping you to live your life's mission all the time. And if life were a big, beautiful puzzle, the mind would only be able to perceive one piece of the puzzle and not the entire assembled masterpiece. Conscious mind isn't big enough to comprehend how all of the pieces of this deeply complex universal puzzle of life all fit synchronistically together. It's only when the mind drops can we watch a glimpse of the bigger picture. Only when it is one with this universe will it truly comprehend and see this perfection everywhere, all the time. The universal grand design is already perfectly in place. All the pieces of this mysterious puzzle are exactly right, even if your mind judges them not to be. Perceived imperfections you see are actually your path to freedom. You see, the purpose of the mind is to continually grow, open, learn, and expand to the point that it realizes it is one with the universal mind. And the mind creates these misperceptions just so it can one day know what perfection truly is and really appreciate it. We really don't know what love is until we've experienced the loss of love. Everything has its opposite to give us contrast so that we can have many different experiences to learn and grow from. It gets in the way of us seeing and knowing that this perfection is all around us. Believes that it is solely responsible for managing your entire world, and that if one little thing is not right, it throws a huge raging fit. It tends to think that it's the general manager of this universe. If your world does not seem perfect to the mind right now, take a giant step back from the mind. This will help you to experience a more universal perspective. Once you get even a tiny glimpse of this awesome, divine, holographic conscious matrix, the mind will be humbled, relax a bit, start to see more of the divine divinity in everything. We take into consideration what our purpose is in this now. What are we? Where are we going? What are we looking at? And it always points back to not out there, but within. And this has been stated throughout the ages. Some listen to a certain extent. Others don't, and go on through the ego mind. But sooner or later, we will come to the conclusion that everything is within. And everything outside of us is created for our entertainment. This is kind of it's an entertainment planet. And it's probably one of the, in this corners of the galaxy, one of the most active entertainment planets. I mean, we got everything going on. You've heard me say 30-ring circus. I mean, we have everything going on. You name it's going on this planet. There isn't one bit of drag anywhere. You've got all these distractions and dishonesties appearing, and misappropriations and misdirections, and I mean, it's on and on and on. You've got people dealing with all kinds of things, and all that energy swirling around, and we are part of that energy. Can't escape it. You know the difference when you're around a happy moment or a happy group of people. You feel it. But when you're around the opposite of that, you feel that too. So we don't realize how closely connected we are. Because we are. Big time. But yet we act separate. We do our darndest to be separate. Don't we? We really do. We do our darndest to be separate. And then we find out that we never were. This is why when we talk with each other, there is a synergy. There is. Even if somebody's grumpy, there is a synergy, there's a connection with all of us, with each other, with ourselves. And we navigate this entertainment planet because that's what it is. Life is entertainment for us guys. Sure, we've got a few things that that are more challenging, like the amnesia and who and what we are and where we came from, and what these bodies are about, and that part of it. But the rest of it And the interesting thing is that we create that entertainment. We create it. We don't know it. We think the entertainment's there for us, but we create it. And then it begins to form. Believe it or not, you could look out into a blank field, right? And you could start visualizing things like trees and bushes and maybe some water, and even though there's nothing there. And if you focused on that without doubt long enough, trees would start appearing, water would start coming in. See, we don't have the confidence yet of the true power within us. We question and doubt and fear and all the emotionality of these bodies that we inherit. So when we're, kind of looking around and wishing for this and wishing for that, you might want to take a moment and say, you know what? I'm going to take a visit within. I want to see how I'm doing, how things are feeling, and how things are going. And I'm going to focus on things that I truly desire. And that could be anything. Well-being, good health, happiness, joy, bliss. And the funny thing is, that's all within us. Always has been. But again, we're taught that it's all outside. Many of us are taught that it's all outside. And then if we're fortunate enough, we figure it out that it's the opposite. I mean, obviously on this planet we've got all kinds of interesting entertainment. We have, just with the weather, rain, snow, sun, heat, humidity, tornadoes, earthquakes, hurricanes, tropical storms. I mean, think about it. The amount of stuff that's packed in on this planet is mind-bending. You can determine for yourself to have fun or not. You can determine for yourself what kind of life you're going to have. No one else does. You do. Some of us believe that someone else does, something else does. And it's like when you talk about destiny, you can even change your destiny. Because in this very moment, you're changing your future. And then we also look at the fact that we're in the now, and that's all we have. That's all any of us have is the now. You don't have anything else. Yesterday's gone. Tomorrow's not here. We only have the now. And I speak about that often because it's a good idea that we practice being in the now. Talk about alleviating stress and anxieties and other stuff. Getting in the habit of going into the now will do that. We pretty much do have a clean slate until we start getting rolled up in gunk and grime. And then we could go in and clean it all off. And we'll get to the point where you'll just feel something and it'll be there. See, we are that powerful. You'll have an intention, but it'll be brief, and it'll just be there. You'll be talking and say, oh, by the way, and there it is. There are so many dimensions throughout existence and beyond. Beings, civilizations, interlinked, interdimensional, transdimensional, multi, meta, beyond. Metta means beyond. And we're here on this little blue marble, doing what we can to figure out who and what we are through all the entertainment that we create for ourselves. And wherever we focus, we create. Because when you're focusing on something that you don't like to focus on, you just say, okay, let's shift gears and focus on what I do want. And not focus on the stuff that I don't want. Because that's what most of us do. So I bring it up so much. This planet would be a different experience in the event that people focused on what they want. It's transitioning right now. It's all talk of doom and gloom, doom and gloom, doom and gloom. You notice that doom and gloom really, truly, isn't as doom and gloom as you thought it was. Because there's always a flip side to it. There's always a flip side to everything. And it just depends on us, ourselves. Because when it boils down to it, you're the gatekeeper. You're the one who takes care of you. You're the one to figure it out. Good, bad, or indifferent. And we just kind of, we move and we experience, we create, we experience. We interact, we experience. We're always experiencing. And our experiences are highly accelerated, so we're just experiencing constantly. Little things, in between, large things. And at the same time, we're creating. And when we don't control our thoughts, when we don't master our thoughts, they're everywhere. The thoughts are... We're sending out all kinds of stuff. Little blip here, blip there, blip here, blip there. And that's just why it's imperative to go into the now and focus on silent space. And to get away from the mind as much as you can. Because that is the only way that we will find peace, is by leaving the mind alone. And I'm not saying that it's a cinch, because it isn't. It's a very big challenge because we're so conditioned with the ego mind. We usually do what it wants, and it doesn't do what we want. This is why we leave it alone. And we do our thing. Leave it alone, do our thing. Period. And we get in the habit of leaving it alone, doing our thing. Because we're already in these bodies an omnipotently powerful, supreme, manifesting abundant being that never dies. Omnipotently powerful. Through the roof. I'm not talking about blowing up things or any stuff like that. I just mean that we have a tremendous amount of power to create. Anything. And we've done it many times. Repeatedly. It's kind of sitting back and going, I created that. You did? Yeah. Because I am part of the one, and we're all one, and we all created, so I had a part in creating that. So you say co-creation. We co-create. We're all creating. And we don't. See, you could just be sitting, right? And you're creating. I mean, you could be traveling somewhere and you're creating. Walking somewhere, you're creating. Swimming, you're creating. Gazing at nature, you're creating. And things show up. Remember, this is one big, huge energy field. All things are within it. So when you see things, bugs, insects, animals that you don't normally see, go on the internet, type in and say, what does it mean when I've seen this? And it'll tell you. It's amazing because there's messages being sent to you all the time. You just have to know how to read them and how to pick up on them. Most of the time we don't. Because we're constantly getting messages all the time from other life forms. Again, we're in the matrix. We're in this huge energy ball. Everything. All the planets, all the universes. All life. And you don't even know if that energy ball is the size of a little marble. You don't know. Because it's very magical. There's magic all around. And when we begin to realize that we're magic, and that all of us believe in miracles every day, because we all are miracles. And to focus on that, my point is that when you start to talk about and focus on things that are uplifting and good and energizing and learning, teaching, it's like you wouldn't know that spiders are magic. They carry magic with them. People go, spiders? Creepy, crawly things? Those are nasty things. You leave them alone, in most cases, they leave you alone. I remember years ago I was it was one of the times after I'd lost everything, I was in a basement. It happened to be my brother's basement, and it was really dirty. I mean, let's put it this way. You even though the laundry was down there, you wouldn't want to stay down there long. One window, which was all smogged over with cement and dirt splatters and everything. And so I was down there and I said, well, we could turn this into something. And I did. I had my easy chair down there. I had my flat screen. I had a little crate table made out of cardboard boxes. And had my desk and computer center that I'd set up. And it got cozy, believe it or not. I had a little cot with I started out sleeping on this couch, and then I had a little cot that I got with a foam mattress and a twin bed. I hadn't slept in a twin bed in a long time, and it was great. You know, I had the air conditioning blowing on me in the summer and the heat blowing on me in the winter. But it wasn't something that you would say, oh, this is really nice. And I didn't really care because for me, it was comfortable. And for me, I created a little kind of a comfort surrounding. And so when I moved out of there, my gratitude was just off the charts. I mean, not having a community shower and having your own personal shower is a big deal. Okay? But also you find that a lot of the things that you were involved with, that your overhead and all that stuff, when that's gone, you feel really light. You don't have those concerns. They're not there. And eventually I started building and started helping my brother with rent and utilities and everything, and started helping him more and more, which he appreciated. And then that's where I came from. I left that cement, whatever you want to call it, basement. And then I came out to the mountains. And then, move. Now, all of it was interesting because I stayed out of the mind as much as I could. I stayed in the now all the time. I would say to myself, I'm not going there, I'm going to stay in the now, right in this very moment. And I would remind myself how deeply grateful I was for that moment. And it was magical. It really was. Not anything that came in, right, that most people would have been disturbed about, it didn't even budge me. I had no interest in it, in responding to it. I mean, it was just really surreal. It was a whole different experience. And then, you know, have you ever noticed that when you get things going and things start building, you learn not to attach to it, not to have expectations about it. Sure, you're excited about something and you really want it and you focus on it happening, but you don't attach to it. You see, years ago I used to attach to things, and then those things would be gone, and I would be disappointed, or I would suffer, I'd be upset. And then you got to the point where it says, none of it makes any difference. The only thing that makes any difference is how you feel. That's the difference. How you feel. And so I always ask myself, how are you feeling? I usually say good. Sometimes I say not too good. And a lot of people have asked me, well, how do you get, you know, you've got all this on your plate, and you've got these technologies for the civilization, and your whole desire is to heal it with these technologies, based upon your experience through the years on all the people that have been afflicted, and knowing where the affliction came from. I stay in gratitude, and sometimes I get irritable. I get flustered. You guys have heard me. I'll blow it out there on occasion. But for the most part, I stay in deep gratitude and I stay in the now as much as I can. That keeps my sanity. Things that happen, you know, most people would say, well, I got to do something about it. It doesn't bother me. In other words, you learn how to float, not swim. You begin to realize that floating is the only way. And all this stuff happening and going on, not a big deal. Remember the old Doris Day song, Que sera, sera, whatever will be, will be. The future's not for me. What is it? Future is not for me to see. Old song. But when we begin to enjoy our own essence and existence for who and what we really are, that's when you start embracing the God that you are within the body. That's when you start to realize that this is the moment of discovery, that you do know that you're the God in that body, that you're housed within the soul, and that you are indestructible. We can't say that about the body, but we're getting there. So it's kind of like you're fishing, you catch a fish, you'd like to keep it, but for the population of that species, you release it back into the water. And so you fish for the joy of fishing, not for the joy of catching it and eating it. You ever done that? Some people have. You just fish because you enjoy the action of fishing, not catching the fish. And it's the same way with our lives. We enjoy moment to moment rather than getting, going, doing, getting, going, doing, getting, going, doing. And once we discover, truly, we will have instantaneous materialization. Because we move the energies. You move energies every single atomic second. You're moving energies. You're affecting everything. Your thoughts are affecting everything around you. And this is why most people will not spend much time in silence. Quiet time. Time with themselves. Because a lot of people are afraid to do that because they're afraid the mind will get so carried away, it'll have all kinds of thoughts coming in and everything. And worry about it, worry about this, worry about that. You ask yourself, if you were gone out of that body tomorrow, would you be content of the life that you had? Okay? It's an interesting question, isn't it? Maybe you would, maybe you wouldn't. Maybe you say, no, I need more time. There's a lot of things I still want to do. And right now it is unfortunate that we have a limit, and that we have a limit and we have an unknown. And the unknown is when. Will the limit show itself? But what we do is that when you move into the now, that you don't have that. You're not focused on that. And you're seeing people, which we always do, but you see famous people expire. Strange ways. Malcolm Jamal Warner, who, drowned out in Costa Rica with his family. Hulk Hogan, who just died, the wrestler. And throughout the ages, we see these different famous people pass. And if you're close to their age, you say, well, I've had friends that are no longer here that say, I go, in conversation with them, how are your friends doing? And they would say, I don't know because they're all dead. I've outlasted all of them. You see, this is where you say, well, you can continually make friends, no matter how old you get. And you continually have a network, close-knit network of people. It's very important. That's why I interject that. And knowing who and what you are takes you a long way in transitioning into higher frequencies. Takes you a very long way. And, we have the ability to design, create in this very moment the exact life and the exact existence that we want. Period. Exact life, exact existence that we want. No question, no doubt, no fear, no anxiety. And we live it. And we live it day to day, moment to moment. Not tomorrow, not 3 weeks from now, not a month from now, but we live it now. Completely. And if there's things that you want to do, right, do them. You know how you sit there and you say, well, one of these days I'd like to do that. Or one of these days I'd like to do this. And usually we don't. We don't. You are not here to find love, you are here to become it. And when you do, you will find it everywhere. Emmanuel. We are love. And we're made up of love. And isn't it interesting on this planet that we have we're love. All of us are loved. All the gods that we are in these bodies. Deep eternal love. Yet, We don't know how to embrace it. I would love to see this planet full bloom in deep eternal love. And I know anything's possible. But that's pushing it from the standpoint of the current structure, so to speak, on the planet. And, we look at things from different perspectives and see things and create things that we don't care to create, move energies. It's like when you interact with somebody that you have never met. You're curious, like a child, because you want to know about them. And so you ask certain questions and stuff, then you hit a sore spot, and you know it. And you just kind of back off and kind of move on with it and not fixate on it. Oh boy, that had a sore spot with them. I talk about this in random approaches because our communication and interaction on an organic level has to come back together. Just like me sharing, some of my events and interacting, and this, because the civilization doesn't have that cohesiveness right now. Because we're so scattered and distracted with what? Technologies. If you could recall, some of you, going back, just for giggles, when we had technologies, but we didn't have what we do now. Okay? Being bathed in radio frequencies, electromagnetic frequencies, if you're in front of your computer, you're being bathed in electromagnetic frequencies. It's almost like you'd have to have a hazmat suit on. When you're in your vehicle nowadays, you got electric and you've got this and that, and you're being bathed in electromagnetic frequencies. You don't realize it, but you are. And it isn't good for us. See, these technologies that we embrace, when we start to look at them from the standpoint of saying, these aren't good for me and my body. They're just not good for me. And there's a lot of creative people on this planet. So doesn't it make sense that collectively we take that and we set it aside and we replace it with something that heals everybody? You become healed. Everywhere you go, you're being healed. Imagine that. Rather than being degraded, disassembled, so to speak, because of all these frequencies that are hitting you on a continual basis. You switch that, and now you're being bathed in nothing but high-level, highly energetic frequencies that heal you, heal your body. And that's doable, see? But we're so distracted, and we get so waylaid, and we get so bogged down because of the ego mind and emotionality of things. But the concerted effort collectively with the civilization and people of this planet is to flourish, is to expand, grow, advance. Because this is a massive space out there with massive amounts of planets. And like I've said, it just doesn't make sense that we're sequestered on this planet for so long, thousands and thousands and thousands of years. It's like, it's just like this prison jail cell that's kind of made up to look like a real fluffy life here and there. And then we kind of look and say, well, wait a minute, there's bars behind that. You're going somewhere, but you feel like you're not. You're on the hamster wheel, and you can look around and you say, I'm not moving anywhere, I'm not going anywhere. the treadmill of life and repetitiveness. So what we do is we say, I'm not going to be on that treadmill because I'm not going anywhere. And in order to go where, you increase your vibrational frequency continuously. And you become more and more aware of who and what you are, and then you advance. And then you walk into fifth dimension. And then the frequencies increase and continue to increase and continue to expand way beyond your wildest imagination. And the difference between this world of 3D and the new Earth of 5D, there's no comparison. Zero. And I've asked people to visualize that because it's really important to focus on that so that those gateways and pathways begin to open up more so more of us can walk into it. And all this other stuff, it will just melt away. You watch. It's just going to melt away. Period. It's like a barking dog that never stops. And then one day you don't never hear it again. And you say, I wonder what happened to that barking dog. And you'll never know. But the barking stopped. It's just what's going on this planet, a bunch of barking. It reminds one of it really does. If you see a scene, if you have a scene of a bunch of children in this big sandbox in a playground, big sandbox, and all these children are upset with somebody, with the other one, and I'm going to take my toys and I'm going to tell my mom. I'm going to go home because you won't do this or that. This is what it reminds me on this planet, that a bunch of children are having severe problems with getting along with each other. I'll join you in meditation. I'll return to close this out. Take an easy and slow breath in through the nose and an easy and slow breath out from the mouth. Remain still, relaxed into your body, focused on your breath rising and falling. It is time to release any emotional or physical inner wounds you are holding on to, so that you are more open and receptive to the divinity within. For today, redirect your attention towards the most soft, gentle, loving, healing energy you can imagine, whatever it may be. Some fuzzy blanket, a little puppy. Whatever you focus on, let yourself soften and welcome the relaxing, healing vibrations all throughout your body. This gentleness will help you heal in more ways than you know. Imagine a soft, healing energy is penetrating every cell in your body throughout the day today. Notice how your face changes in the mirror when you are focusing on this healing energy. The mind is always busy focusing on something. It is stuck in an automatic and unconscious perpetual shift of attention. It has been busy your whole life and desperately needs a vacation. So your exercise for today is not to focus on anything. Get a timer for 3 minutes. You know, it's like egg timers, and practice having no focus at all. None. Zero. To prepare yourself for this feat, it's best that you sit down, lean against the wall, relax every muscle in your body. Once your body is at ease, simply experience your own presence. Your mind starts to dream, think, and wander. Reset the clock, start over. Do not push your attention onto or off of anything. The mind cannot focus on not focusing. Just be in a deep let go and surrender to your own presence. Be completely present to the presence inside of you. Surrender to the continuous experience of your presence, and the universe will provide you with everything you've been searching for your entire life. And once you stop focusing completely for a few solid minutes, you will empty yourself out and be filled with the highest possible awareness you can imagine. Take this with you for the rest of the day, into the evening and night, the following morning. We will return here Friday, July 25, 2025. I almost said 25. After 3:15 p.m. Eastern to continue our global guided meditation call, and after 9:15 p.m. Eastern to continue our reverse aging health call and all the rest. Be gentle, kind, generous, and humble with yourself at all times. Be in the highest of the highest high, deepest of the deepest deepest, and purest of the purest purest. Eternal gratitude at all times, no matter what's going on out there or within you. Open your heart. Allow the magic to flow in.